welcome to another amazing episode of Made Fit TV. I'm your host, Jennifer DiDonato, and this is episode number 66. Made Fit TV is everyone's source for health and fitness, information and entertainment, and it's not where, well, it is, well, what's the word? Fit bodies don't just happen, they're made. That's what I meant to say, guys. So you can make it. It doesn't just happen overnight, but here are some good tips with this podcast that can make you do it. You can do it. So welcome, episode number 66. Welcome to the Ustreamers that are chatting with me live right now. If you want to join us live every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can just log on to Ustream and do it. So welcome, and I want to let you know that I can answer your questions right on the spot as well instead of waiting a few days for emails. So today's episode I think is a really important one. It basically asks you the question, is your body type working against you? You know, that's something that a lot of us have to face. And so what I wanted to do is break it down for everyone, you know, because you always hear people say, oh, well, it's her body type, she's big boned, or she just has a naturally fast metabolism. Well, I want to explain to you kind of what that means and how it can affect you and how you can figure out maybe what body type you have and then how you can work with it. If you hear some whining in the background, it's my dog. He's a Winnie. Oh, hi, Win. And she's not wearing the same shirt as last time. I know, how embarrassing. It's a different pink t-shirt, tank top. She looks like a bodybuilder, doesn't she? Takes after her sister. All right, so hopefully she won't be whining throughout this whole thing. She's a little bored right now. So anyway, let's cut to the chase. There are about three main body types that, that people have. And the first one is an ectomorph, okay? Ectomorph is the body type. You know those people that you see that are really lengthy? Like an example would be Gwyneth Paltrow. She's an ectomorph. Or like James Franco, you know, the actor who played James Dean. And these guys, these people who are ectomorphs, are typically skinnier. You have smaller bones, smaller joints, and even smaller muscles. These types of people are the type that just eat and eat whatever they want and they never gain a pound. But ectomorphs, though, have a hard time gaining weight, both fat and muscle. But typically for women, as you age, you will, if you're not exercising properly and you still continue eating and eating how you did back in your teens and 20s and 30s, if you do gain fat, it's mostly going to be on the buttocks and on the thighs. So typically, the people that are ectomorphs who are, you know, skinnier, a little bit wafier, they can develop more of a pear-shaped body because they retain the fat on their lower body. The reason why you'll see a lot of athletes who are marathon runners that are the ectomorphs, and it's because the smaller muscles, they contain, their bodies genetically have more type 1 muscle. And type 1 muscle, basically in a nutshell, is more oxygen-rich muscles. They're smaller, but they have more capillaries, so it's more oxygen-rich, meaning they are more prone to excel in aerobic activity like marathons or bikers. So these types of body types are typically those types of people that excel in those sports. So now if you have this type of body type, you will have a hard time gaining muscle, but at the end of this podcast I'm going to explain, I'm going to break it down to you what you can do to maybe improve or accentuate your body type if that's what you want. So body type number 2 is what I am. I'm a mesomorph. Mesomorph body types are typically stockier types, more rounder muscles, broader shoulders, more straight up and down. You know how, like I was saying, the ectomorphs are more, they can become more of a pear shape and more lengthier, where mesomorphs have more fuller bone structure, fuller muscles, and these types of people kind of have the best of both worlds in a way. I don't think so, but you gain muscle a lot quicker, and you gain fat as well a little bit easier, but you can also lose fat easier and lose muscle easier as well. So mesomorphs tend to have a body type where your metabolism is pretty average. You know, you're not too fast of a metabolism like an ectomorph or too slow like an endomorph that we're going to talk about in a moment. But these types of people are the ones that you typically see up on the stage, either bodybuilders or really bulky athletes. An example of those, Angela Bassett. Have you seen her in that Tina Turner movie? Holy crap. She looks awesome. You know, you can see the picture of the podcast when we're showing right now. And then Hugh Jackman, you know, in what movie was that he was in? Yeah, Wolverine. I mean, I'm sure he may have had some assistance in the maybe drug-induced department, you know, because you got to prepare for a movie. But his body type, his structure for a man, he's a mesomorph. He puts on muscle easily. His shoulders are more rounder, abs, that sort of thing. So real, you know, built. And the reason why is because these types of body types have the type 2 muscle type, which in a nutshell is called the fast twitch muscle. Your muscles aren't as aerobically inclined as the type 1 muscle, but you're more, the strength in those types of muscles are fast twitch for power, you know, not good at endurance, but it excels in lifting heavier and doing more power activities like jumping, you know, punching, that sort of thing. So that would be a mesomorph body type. Now endomorphs are a little more tough because these types of people are more, if you're this body type, you have more of an apple shape. You tend to carry your weight in your stomach, in your midsection. Your limbs tend to be a little more rounder in terms of fat deposits, slower than average metabolism, and also an example could be George Costanza, you know, Jason Alexander on Seinfeld, or like Roseanne Barr or Sherry Shepherd on The View. So these types of body types are like that. And now you have bigger bone structure, but unfortunately, it's harder for you to lose weight. So you can build muscle and build fat easier, but it's harder to lose both of those. So this kind of body type has more of a struggle because it's harder to get the body that you want if you feel like you're in that sort of rut. So, okay, so we got 3 types: ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. So what can we do if you have those specific body types in the gym or nutrition? Well, for ectomorphs, what you want to do, since you're skinnier, you're more lengthier, what you want to do is eat more. Your metabolism may be a little bit faster, so eat more, but good things. You want to make sure you're eating more whole grain carbohydrates, more lean proteins, and you want to make sure you're doing, maybe cut back on cardio. Do a little bit less cardio and increase the weights in the gym. Because if you're doing the cardio, you're going to be losing that fat a lot easier. So what you want to do is build more lean body mass to give your body more of a shape, but still keep your lengthy look. Now for mesomorph, pretty much just keep eating that nutritious diet. You know, you want to maintain your portions. Try portion control because it's easier to gain fat with mesomorphs, like I mentioned. I myself am a prime example. So I tend to practice portion control. You want to make sure you're eating a good amount of whole grains and proteins, but you don't want to overdo it. You want to make sure you're doing a little bit more cardio in the gym just to keep your body fat percentage down. And then if you are looking to gain mass, you want to lift heavier and heavier weights, lower reps. Or if you don't want to gain that much muscle, still keep up with the muscle, the weight-bearing exercises, but just tone it down on the weight. And now for an endomorph, for you, you want to lower your calories. You want to make sure you're eating a little bit less of the carbohydrates, but you still want to get a good amount of those good carbohydrates, like the whole grains and the oats. And getting in those vegetables, eating a lot of lean protein, but just watching your portions, lower your caloric intake slightly, increase the cardio because you want to really increase the fat burn efficiency through maybe doing some high intense cardio intervals, and also increase the weight training. And you can even, if you're an endomorph, you know, more of the rounder shape, you can even include circuit training into yours as well. Kind of mix it up, do total body movements. But just make sure that you're giving yourself, if you're any of these body types, which I'm sure you are, you want to give yourself a good month to really pound it out, be consistent, because that is the way that you can start seeing the results. Not after a couple days, not after a week, but you want to give yourself a good month. Email me at jenny@madefittv.com. I hope this podcast gave you some insight into what the certain body types are and can help you, because genetically we are made up the way we are, so we have to work with it and see what works for us. What works for one person may not work for the other. So email me, Twitter me, I'm at Jenny DiDonato. I'm on Facebook, Jenny DiDonato. We're on iTunes. You can subscribe. We're at MadeFit TV on there. You can also review us on there. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. Join us every Saturday. You stream. You can chat with me live, and I can answer all your questions. So thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on MadeFit TV.